Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. Thank you for joining us. This is the Marion City Council meeting for Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call, please.
Mr. Harper.
Here.
Ms. Atkins. Here. Mr. Jensen.
Here.
Mayor Abu Asli.
Here.
Mr. Brandt.
Here.
Ms. Gedalia. Here. Mr. Sterned.
Here. Great to have all council members in the same room again. We're making progress. Okay, first on our agenda, oh, sorry, we have a moment of silence. Thank you. First on our agenda is a proclamation for Pride Month, which is celebrated in June of each year. And we have Jennifer Tibbetts here with us from the Marion Civil Rights Commission. And would you come up front and I'll come down? Okay. Whereas the city of Marion believes in and stands for the values of inclusion, equity, fairness, and justice. And whereas the city of Marion welcomes all people and recognizes the rights of individuals to live their lives with dignity, free of discrimination because of their faith, race, national origin, sexual orientation, or immigration status. And whereas the city of Marion believes advancing equity and inclusion is critical to the success of our community. And whereas the fight for dignity and equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals is reflected in the tireless dedication of advocates who strive to forge a more inclusive society. And whereas our community has made great strides in recognizing all individuals and should celebrate how far we have come and reaffirm our steadfast belief in the equal dignity of all Americans. Now, therefore, I, Nicholas Abu Asli, Mayor of the City of Marion, Iowa, do hereby proclaim the month of June as Pride Month in the City of Marion, and call upon the people of Marion to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists and to celebrate the great diversity of our community. You want to say anything? Go ahead.
I would just like to thank the council and the city of Marion for recognizing Pride Month. And it is, I'm very fortunate to be part of the Civil Rights Commission and also the Community Equity Task Force. And this just goes along with Marion's commitment to make Marion the most inclusive and welcoming place it can be. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next on our agenda is a public forum, which is a time set aside for comments from members of the public on any topic that is listed on the agenda but not part of a public hearing. Are there any people who have asked to address the council?
I have not received any comments.
Okay. If you do receive any requests, we can certainly go back. Otherwise, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, Your Honor, I move to approve the consent agenda as follows. This will be items A1 through G1. Also included will be resolutions 29561 through 29583.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented, including resolutions items A1 through G1 and resolutions 29561 through 29583. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. For the next section, I will turn over the meeting to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the consent agenda with Mayor Abu-Asali's abstention as follows. Items B1 through F2, resolutions 29584 through 29587.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda with Mayor Abu-Asali's abstention. Items B1 through F2, resolutions 29584 through 29587. Discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Back to you, the Mayor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 29588, approving legal services agreements with City Attorney Kara Bullerman and Assistant City Attorney Ryan Tang for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29588, approving the legal services agreements with City Attorney Kara L. Bullerman and Assistant City Attorney Ryan P. Tang for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Discussion. All those in favor of resolution number 29588, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. For the next item, I will turn over the meeting to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve project calendar regarding a tax incentive request from Talon LLC. This will include a motion to receive and file a request for financial assistance from Talon LLC and a motion directing staff to draft a letter of support for workforce housing tax credit.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve project calendar regarding a tax incentive request from Talon LLC. Motion to receive and file the request for financial assistance and a motion directing staff to draft a letter of support for the workforce housing tax credit. Discussion. Yes, Renee.
Thank you. I don't think I chimed in on this on Tuesday, but I just wanted to say it's exciting to have a project come to this gateway spot in the community. So hopefully some iteration of this will work out. I know it's too early for a lot of questions I have surrounding it, so I'll hold those, but I am excited to see some movement on this parcel. Thanks.
We are excited. They're planning on starting spring of 22, and the letter of support is just to kick the process off. They're going for workforce housing tax credit.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion's approved. I will pass it back to the mayor.
Mayor, I make a motion to remove from table resolution number 29543, approving contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services for the new public service maintenance facility.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to remove from the table resolution number 29543, approving the contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services related to the public service maintenance facility. Any discussion on the motion to remove from the table? All those in favor of removing resolution number 29543 from the table and placing it on the floor for discussion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 29543, approving contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services for the new public service maintenance facility. That was, this motion was tabled on 5/20/21.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29543, approving the contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services for the new public service maintenance facility. Discussion on the resolution. Okay, all those in favor of resolution number 29543, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve, make the motion to remove from table resolution number 29544, approving contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services related to storm repairs for the existing public service maintenance facility. This was tabled on 5/20/2021.
Second.
It has been moved by Councilmember Sternad, seconded by Councilmember Brandt, to remove from the table resolution number 29544, approving the contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services related to storm repairs for the existing public service maintenance facility. Discussion on the motion to remove from the table. All those in favor of removing resolution 29544 from the table and placing it on the floor for discussion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 29544, approving contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services related to storm repairs for the existing public service maintenance facility.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29544, approving the contract with Conlon Construction for construction manager services related to storm repairs for the existing public service maintenance facility. Discussion. All those in favor of approving resolution number 29544, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-10, amending chapter 99 of the Code of Ordinances relating to sanitary sewer by increasing monthly domestic and industrial user charges from $4.10 to $4.39. This is second consideration.
Second.
Who was first? Been moved by Councilmember Atkins, seconded by Councilmember Harper, to approve ordinance number 21-10, amending chapter 99 of the Code of Ordinances relating to sanitary sewer by increasing monthly domestic and industrial user charges from $4.10 to $4.39. Discussion? All those in favor of ordinance number 21-10, second consideration, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-11, amending chapter 105 of the Code of Ordinances relating to solid waste by establishing base monthly collection fees at $18.75, and this is the second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the second consideration of ordinance number 21-11, amending chapter 105 of the Code of Ordinances relating to solid waste by establishing base monthly collection fees at $18.75. Discussion. All those in favor of ordinance number 21-11, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-12, amending chapter 5.13 of the Code of Ordinances relating to operating procedures and place of residence. Second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-12, amending chapter 5.13 of the Code of Ordinances relating to operating procedures and place of residence. Discussion? All those in favor of approving the second consideration of ordinance number 21-12, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to suspend the rules and proceed to the final consideration of ordinance number 21-12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules and proceed to the final consideration of ordinance number 21-12. Discussion? Yes, Renee?
Yes, I know I moved this. I will be voting no, not because of the content, but I generally vote no on skipping readings, just so people have the full time to submit comments or reach out. So I'll be voting no, but again, it's not against the content. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Grant.
Yes, on that point, is there something that compels us to suspend the rules and move more quickly?
Is that Fire Chief? She's coming forward.
Yes, Your Honor. This was just a request by myself in that we need to get more firefighters hired as soon as we can. That are volunteers. Right now, we are at 11 and we need to have 25. So we've had less staffing in a lot of our fires. So we're just trying to move the procedure along more than anything, but I understand where you stand on that you do want more input. So I totally understand, but yes, that was by my request.
Just out of curiosity, has staff received any negative input or anything in opposition to this at all? I mean, I haven't heard anything. I don't know if council members have, but.
Only positive.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions for the chief while she's up here? Okay. Then we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion suspending the rules and proceeding to the final consideration of ordinance number 21-12. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please say no.
No,
We have one no and the motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-12, amending chapter 5.13 of the Code of Ordinances relating to operating procedures and place of residence for final consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-12, amending chapter 5.13 of the Code of Ordinances relating to operating procedures and place of residence. This is the final consideration. Discussion. All those in favor of approving final consideration of ordinance number 21-12, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion is approved. This time we have a public hearing regarding 2021 sanitary CIPP rehabilitation project, and I'm sure the city manager will inform us all what CIPP means for purposes of the public.
Cured in place pipe.
Thank you.
So this is what's usually called our slip lining project. So this is stopping that infiltration of water getting into our sanitary sewer system. So we did have 5 bids on this project. There's a detailed bid tab in your council packet. The low bid was from HydroClean at $87,063.87, 73.16% of the engineer's estimate. It has a completion date of October 20th of 21, with liquidated damages in the amount of $300 per day. And we are recommending to award the contract to HydroClean.
Okay. The public hearing is now open and we will take comments from members of the public, either in opposition or in favor of this measure. Do we have anyone who's asked to address the council?
I have not received any comments.
Okay.
My office has not either.
We haven't received anything outside of this meeting. Okay, we'll note that for the public record. We'll close the public hearing and move on to the resolution.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 29589, accepting bids and awarding contract to HydroClean LLC regarding the 2021 sanitary CIPP rehabilitation project in the amount of $87,063.87.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29589, accepting the bids and awarding the contract to Hydro Clean LLC for the 2021 sanitary CIPP cured in place pipe rehabilitation project in the amount of $87,063.87. The slip lining project. Okay. Discussion. All those in favor of approving resolution number 29589, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-09, adopting amendments to chapter 176 of the Code of Ordinances regarding flood hazard area regulations and adoption of the 2021 FEMA flood insurance study and the 2021 FEMA flood insurance rate map. This is the final consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-09, adopting the amendments to chapter 176 of the Code of Ordinances regarding flood hazard area regulations and adopting the 2021 FEMA flood insurance study and the 2021 FEMA flood insurance rate map. This is the final consideration. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving ordinance number 21-09, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 29590, approving contract amendment number 1 with Anderson Bogart Engineers and Surveyors, Inc. regarding the Central Corridor improvements, 7th Avenue from 8th Street to 12th Street in the amount of $60,742 for a new contract total of $398,861.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29590, approving the contract amendment number 1 with Anderson Bogart Engineers and Surveyors regarding the Central Corridor improvements, 7th Avenue from 8th Avenue to 12th Street in the amount of $60,742 for a new contract total of $398,861. Discussion. All those in favor of approving resolution number 29590, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the project calendar regarding the 10th Avenue Side Paths PCC Sidewalk Trail. This includes resolutions 29591 through 29593.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the project calendar for the 10th Avenue Side Paths PCC Sidewalk and Trail, including resolutions 29591 through 29593. Discussion. Mike, when do we expect that work to begin?
So I believe they have a late start date of August.
Okay.
But it does have, I believe, 120 working days on it, so it may not be completed
Yeah.
this year.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Will.
Since we asked what CIPP was earlier, let's ask what PCC stands for.
Portland Concrete Cement.
What's that again?
Portland Concrete Cement.
Excellent, thank you.
Can't wait to see what that's going to look like when it's all done. It's going to be such a major difference.
Yeah, I guess for those that don't know, it's 10-foot wide side pass, which is a trail that parallels the street from Walmart to Hy-Vee, or from Walmart to Hy-Vee. So it'll be a nice addition, so we don't have residents walking down the side of the
Mhm.
highway.
And a huge improvement of the look of the entrance to the city. Okay, any discussion on, further discussion on this? All those in favor of the motion to approve the project calendar for the 10th Avenue Side Paths, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 29594, approving engagement of Lynn County Auditor for assistance in drawing redistricting maps.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29594, approving the engagement of Lynn County Auditor for assistance in drawing redistricting maps. Discussion. Go ahead, Renee.
Just out of curiosity, is this something that we have to pay for, or is this a resource that they just assist us with since we're in county? Just curious about how that works.
Come forward.
I believe in the past, it's just been a resource they've provided, but Lon, I don't recall that we've ever made payment on this.
No, there wasn't an expense the last time.
They just have the GIS system and the guys that work it, they do it countywide, so it's really easy for them to kind of plug that in.
Awesome.
Very helpful.
Great.
If they didn't do it, what would be our other options?
So we do it in-house.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is if we have the county do it, it also takes away any questionable where lines are drawn and why they're drawn. So what they do is they go through the process, they can balance the districts, provide us options to look at, and then we make a recommendation. So it's almost like an independent group providing the districting boundary, which I personally think is a really good idea for us as a community to have that. So there's
More
no
objective.
question about how that happens.
Sure. So this is balancing the populations in our 4 wards and
Absolutely.
redrawing those lines so that they're roughly equal numbers in each ward. I'm saying this so people who are watching can understand what we're doing here. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So we want equal representation of the community in each of the wards, and there's very specific ways and guidelines that are provided by code to do so.
yes, go ahead, Renee.
So you mentioned something that stirred a thought. I remember when we shrunk from what it was 5 to 3 supervisors, and they were redrawing the bounds of, how they would split that up. And it was a public vote. Are they going to present us options that we will vote on, or they present us kind of like, how does that work? Well,
So the council will vote on the new wards and precincts.
So we have final approval of it.
Yep.
right. So they might give us 2 options of how to split
Mhm. Yep.
equally, but we get to make that decision.
That's correct.
At
And we'll
this
probably
level.
have a committee that's reviewing it as well.
Terrific. Thanks.
Okay, Grant, did you have a question?
Yes, just to clarify, this won't affect this fall's election, is that correct?
That is correct. We've held off. There is a process upon which we go through to do this, and we want to ensure that we have the latest numbers, and we were supposed to get census numbers, I believe, in April, and they've pushed back final numbers till probably September. So we certainly wouldn't want to try and rush around without having those numbers. So
Okay, any further questions? All right, we'll vote. All those in favor of approving resolution number 29594, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 29595, approving a final site development plan for Lynn County Business Park Phase 4 for property located west of Highway 13 and north of REC Drive. This will be 8 Enough LLLP.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29595, approving a final site development plan for Lynn County Business Park Phase 4 for the property located west of Highway 13 and north of REC Drive. Discussion. LLLP is limited liability, limited partnership. In case you were wondering.
He knew one.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution number 29595, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-13, amending chapter 160 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the building code. This is our second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution ordinance number 21-13, amending chapter 160 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the building code. Discussion. All those in favor of approving ordinance number 21-13, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-14, amending chapter 161 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the plumbing code, second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-14, amending chapter 161 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the plumbing code. Discussion. All those in favor of ordinance number 21-14, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-15, amending chapter 163 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the mechanical code. And this is the second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-15, amending chapter 163 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the mechanical code. Discussion? All those in favor of ordinance number 21-15, second consideration, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-16, amending chapter 165 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the housing code, second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-16, amending chapter 165 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the housing code, second consideration. Discussion? All those in favor of approving ordinance number 21-16 for the second consideration, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-17, amending chapter 153 of the Code of Ordinances related to the property maintenance code, second consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-17, amending chapter 153 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the property maintenance code. Discussion. All those in favor of the second consideration of ordinance number 21-17, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. This time we have a public hearing regarding an ordinance amending chapter 76 relating to bicycle regulations. The public hearing is now open. We'll ask the Community Development Director to give a synopsis of what we're.
Yes, so the following is a public hearing on the ordinance amending chapter 76 regarding bicycle regulations. They just haven't been updated in some time, so the BPAC or the Bicycle Advisory Committee did take a look at the ordinance and is offered some amendments to that. Some of the highlights include the definition of bicycles, including electric assist bicycles and tricycles, primarily to highlight the recent acquisition of some electric assisted tricycles. There's in the community, so they'll be available and be able to be placed on our trails. Before they weren't really specifically identified. In addition, we talk about electric stand-up scooters. And as we've seen across the metro area, these have become something a little bit more popular, primarily in downtown Cedar Rapids, but we do foresee that things like this will be popping up in uptown, as well as certainly as we start to see our trail system become connected with the CMAR Trail. So this is just providing a little update in definitions related to those and providing some I guess, code that provides the options for them to exist on our trails. It also provides a choice to cyclists to use the road or adjacent side paths instead of a requirement of the side path. So some cyclists like to use the road, they can travel at the speed of traffic in some instances, so they're not required to use a side path. And I'm sure that the police chief is not really interested in pulling over bicycles and assigning tickets for something of that nature unless they're being dangerous. And then limiting the riding of bicycles on sidewalks in the uptown with the exceptions of persons under the age of 13 when they're accompanied by an adult. And then it also does identify rear reflectors required in keeping with state code. It does also require that at night that a light is on the front of your bicycle, which as a cyclist, I should say as a cyclist, I used to cycle a lot more, but you'll see more and more actually have their daytime running lights on their bike, both front and back, and some helmets now even have the lighting within the helmet, which is extremely helpful as well. Certainly not a requirement by our code, but it's just something you'll see more often. On Tuesday, there was a question regarding the sit-down scooters, because as you noticed throughout the ordinance, it does specifically identify stand-up scooters. So this is a public hearing tonight, and the ordinance, there'll be 3 readings. We did and are reaching out to Cedar Rapids to see what they've done with their ordinances to accommodate the recent addition of the sit-down scooter in the community. So, and I'll bring that back at the next meeting as a topic of conversation. I know initially there was a concern whether a sit-down scooter could also be a moped or a motorcycle. So, Councilman Jensen pointed out that there is a speed limit within the ordinance, so that's certainly something. So we'll try and clarify that as we move forward with the ordinance adoption. And if there's other questions, obviously, I would be happy to try and answer those.
So when I turn 55 in September, I'll be able to check out one of the electric tricycles and ride all the way out to, well, by next year, all the way out to Walmart.
Absolutely. There you go.
They got a basket. You
And
get
they
your
got a
groceries
basket.
Okay, the public hearing is open. We'll take comments from members of the public, either in opposition or in favor of this measure. Anyone who has asked to address the council?
I have not received any comments.
Have we received any comments outside this meeting, Tom? Okay, please note that for the public record, no comments received. We'll close the public hearing and move on to the motion for the ordinance. And then we'll take discussion and questions for Tom at that time.
Your Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 21-18, amending chapter 76 of the Marion Code of Ordinances relating to bicycle regulations. This will be the initial consideration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 21-18, amending chapter 76 of the Marion Code of Ordinances relating to bicycle regulations. Discussion. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, just a comment. I was driving on 7th the other day and someone was driving their golf cart. So, and I know we've discussed this before. So I just wanted to make sure when you're going through the ordinance and you're weeding out like mopeds, if there's a way to make it clear that golf carts are not allowed now that we might be incorporating some new motor vehicles or mechanized small vehicles. But
Was
yeah,
that on the street, Renee?
yeah, briefly, he went, from one block into the next, but he was cruising around and I thought, oh boy.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
anyway, this just made me think to make sure this is super clear so that those riders and drivers don't try to dovetail it into this code. Thanks.
Okay, Randy?
Thank you. I just wanted to kind of add a couple things, and I'll just run off the short tail of this one, if you will. I believe, unless I'm corrected, golf carts can be permissible if they do have operating lights, turn signals, and have all the criteria to be registered on the street. So with a shake of the head, Chief, is that correct? It is correct. Thank you. So we want to be real careful that we're noticed, just so people have clarification on that. The other thing I would like to ask too is just for general publicity or public service announcements is I've taken probably 2 or 3 phone calls over the last 2 weeks about this topic, where we're seeing and witnessing, because of the retail prices coming down on these units, that children are running these what look like the old two-wheeled scooters, but they're in the flow of traffic, and they're asking, is that permissible or is it not? So I would really encourage us to get that public service announcement out there as to what is and isn't permitted once we get through all of this process. So there is some clarification, because there's people riding them on the sidewalks, in the streets, and they're clearly not in the bike path lanes. They're in streets that have no bike path lanes, and literally right on the bumpers of other vehicles. So I would hope that we can get some education out there as well too, because we all witnessed that in the other city, and these scooters are laying it's quite literally a littering of these units. Once the battery runs out, they just toss them to the side no matter where they're at. I've seen them in major roadways. So hopefully we can get some clarification on that and education. So thank you.
That's a good point. I think that the chief and Tom could work with Amber to put out information once this is completed, this process, about what it means and the details of it. Go ahead, Will, and then we'll go to Grant. Okay.
Yeah, Terrell, could you go back a slide? So Tom, the third bullet point says limited riding. Sorry, I can barely read that. Limiting riding bicycles on the sidewalks in Uptown, specific areas identified, with the exception of persons under the age of 13 accompanied by an adult. Why is accompanied by an adult in there? Because I would think if someone under the age of 13 is riding their bicycle with their friends, they should be permitted to ride on the sidewalks in the Uptown if their parents aren't with them.
Yeah, I think I believe that the basis for that is that they won't be cruising around and being more, I guess.
I would,
So there'd be probably more supervised was
Sure.
the idea. And I don't know, Chief, if you were involved in some of those conversations at BPAC, or if you heard from Tom, who was involved, but.
I was
Officer
involved because
Dobbs.
I'm on BPAC, but
There-
I don't
there you
remember.
go.
I don't remember us talking about accompanied by an adult, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that part came out for parents that were with their kids downtown, if the kid's riding a bike.
right, I understand, but if some kid, because the trail system is gonna go right through here, and if some kids are, like a group of kids, like my 10-year-old might be on a bike, or she's almost 11 now, with her friends riding on the trail, and they come through the Uptown without me or another adult, I would want her riding on the sidewalk and not in the street along 6th Avenue up here. But, so that's why I'm wondering why it has to be accompanied by an adult. I understand where you're coming from, where they might be goofing around, but not all the kids are going to be goofing around, and it'd be safer for a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, 11-year-old to ride on the sidewalk versus in the street on 6th Avenue right here.
I think they were looking at the safety of the pedestrians on the sidewalk is why, I believe that's what the discussion
Right.
is about.
Understand.
And I can get some clarity from
I think,
Kesh on that as
Sure.
well.
I think the way that's written is that riding on sidewalks is limited to everyone, unless you're with,
An adult and under the age of 13.
right. Unless you're, yeah, if you're under the age of 13, if you have an adult with you, then you can ride on the sidewalk, but otherwise everyone is limited from not riding on the sidewalk.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, that's the way I read it too, but I would, in my mind, I think it's better for under 13 to be on the sidewalk versus the street in the Uptown. And I understand,
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation in BPAC about pedestrians and worried about pedestrians. But I'd be more worried about a 12-year-old riding in the street on 6th Avenue, especially when 7th Avenue is closed and the traffic on 6th is gonna be double, triple of what it is right now.
But I don't believe,
That's my concern.
yeah, That's a valid point, I think, but I think the specific areas, I'd have to take another look at those, but I believe like the trails would be exempted because they're allowed for bicycle traffic. But this would be applying to things like the sidewalks in front of all those business entrances on 7th Avenue where you're going to have people stepping out blind. And if they're accompanied by an adult, the adult hopefully is going to be paying a little bit more attention to pedestrians coming in and out of the buildings. Because as a parent with teenagers myself, sometimes when they get on the bikes, they're not necessarily paying as much attention to the wings as adults would.
So the reference to specific areas identified exempts the trails.
I'm going to
essentially.
have to
I
take a
don't
look at
remember.
that, but typically they would.
Where we had the exemption for the downtown.
I know there was some specific areas that were called out, but I don't remember what.
Yeah. Is it in the definitions at the top? Might have been. Bicycle lane.
Yeah, we'll take a closer look at that because it does identify 6th, 7th, and 8th Avenues from 7th to 15th Streets.
Yeah.
Can we
So
have
it
that
includes 6th
clarified
Avenue
before
as
the
well.
next, the second consideration?
Yep.
Is that okay, Will? Or, I mean,
Yeah.
you're welcome to vote however you want to on this.
Right, right. And I'm for all the improvements to be made. I don't know if I like the accompanied by an adult. Just for the reasons that I stated, so.
Okay, so we can have that clarification before the second reading.
Your
Okay,
Honor,
yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to circle back to the golf carts
Yes.
issue. And as from a drafting standpoint, Tom, you may want to, in the definitions, just refer people to 62.12, which sets forth the requirements for golf carts. And that includes a special permit, just for people listening, to be very clear. You need a permit from the city manager, and that has to lay out your proposed routes and your compelling need to be able to ride your golf cart on the streets. That's in 62.12.
Yeah, there are, to Councilman Sternad's earlier point, there are electric vehicles that are licensed and have the proper safety equipment, but they also have license plates. So they're licensed in the same manner as a car. Those are different than golf carts. Golf carts have to be, as Attorney Bullerman has said, have to have a special permit. And in general, they're only going to be permitted on roads that are 25 miles an hour or less. They could cross a 35 mile an hour, but not drive on a 35 mile an hour street.
I just wanted to make sure that people listening understood that what Councilmember Sternad was talking about does not apply to all golf carts in the area. So please do not go cruising in your golf carts.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, just a point I want to emphasize, and I know Tom, I think, indicated earlier that this is going to be mirrored or at least compared against Cedar Rapids and what they're doing, but I think they should be extremely close and almost identical because we have our trails that go everywhere now between Cedar Rapids and Marion, and people riding on those trails probably don't know when they go from one city limit to the other. And we talk about these electric assist vehicles and scooters and all of that. And while they're predominantly in Cedar Rapids, it's just a matter of time before they are in Marion. So I think we want to make sure we get ahead of the wave, and we're considering everything that is happening, and again, coordinate very closely with what Cedar Rapids is doing. So we really don't have any differences.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay,
Your Honor.
yeah, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, so I preface this with just a comment. 3 years ago, I gave up motorcycling and my wife was thrilled. I discovered the sophistication of electrified scooters. She wasn't thrilled. And so I would just have to say this conversation is probably going to create a little difficulty for me at home because I would like an electrified scooter. But now getting to the serious part of this, the scooters are becoming more sophisticated, as I think everybody just kind of is picking up on. Some of them are geared to be off-road. Some of them can go 60 miles an hour. Some of them have huge range up to 75 miles, if I'm not mistaken. They are either single motor driven or dual motor driven, depending on the model and the price. And what also has started getting a lot of interest are the sophisticated electrified skateboards. Some of which are, the style is called a longboard, and some of them have relatively large, for a skateboard, pneumatic tires that allow them to be on a trail or even do off-roading. So I guess as we're thinking about this, maybe not for this evolution we're going through on chapter 76, but I think we should just put it in our to-do list to think about how we might need to adopt controls around electrified scooters that have greater sophistication than what we might remember from our childhood. So I just wanted to get that on the table.
Okay. Other comments or questions? Yeah,
If
go
I
ahead,
can just make a statement that, so Kesha Billings in the department has done a lot of work with this, and she's the lead for the BPAC committee and obviously involved in a lot of the trail work. And she's also very well entrenched with the side path project that Mike was talking about. So she's put a lot of time and effort in this. I just think that's good for the council to know the work that she's been doing. She was recently highlighted in an article put out by, I think, the Heritage Center. I think the mayor was, and some council members may have been on that. So she's been very active in this role. So I just want to give her some kudos as it relates to this ordinance. So.
Thank you. Kesha's done a great job with her work on trails. And it's wonderful. Okay, any other comments or any other discussion before we vote? Okay. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor of approving the initial consideration of ordinance number 21-18, amending chapter 76 of the Marion Code of Ordinances relating to bicycle regulations, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion's approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 29596, approving a payment to the city of Cedar Rapids for reimbursement of the acquisition of a portion of Tower Terrace Road right-of-way through the Bernita A. Jacobs property in the amount of $90,800.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29596, approving payment to the city of Cedar Rapids for reimbursement of acquisition of a portion of the Tower Terrace Road right-of-way from the Bernita A. Jacobs to the Bernita A. Jacobs property in the amount of $90,800. Discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution number 29596, please say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. For the next item, we'll turn over the meeting to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve resolution number 29597, approving a purchase agreement with Diane H. Lewis, James S. Lewis, and Douglas Stewart Downing for a portion of Tower Terrace Road in the amount of $173,300.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29597, approving a purchase agreement with Diane H. Lewis, James S. Lewis, and Douglas Stewart Downing for a portion of Tower Terrace Road in the amount of $173,300. Discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say aye. Or same sign, right? Motion passes. Back to you, Mayor.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 29598, approving the contract with Story Kenworthy for office furnishings in the amount of $290,835.06.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29598, approving the contract with Story Kenworthy for the office furnishings for the library in the amount of $290,835.06. Discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 29598, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 29599, approving the contract with Workspace for the office tables and chairs in the amount of $93,801.81.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 29599, approving the contract with Workspace for office tables and chairs in the amount of $93,801.81. Again, this is related to the new public library. Discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 29599, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. I just want to be sure that the city clerk noted that I abstained from discussion and voting on F11. Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, we have a public forum, which is a time set aside for comments from the public on any topic. Do we have anyone who's asked to address the council?
I have not received any comments.
Okay. And would just remind the public that they can contact any member of the city council at any time by phone or email with any comments or questions. Okay, we'll move on to council comments. We'll start with Councilmember Harper.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to thank council members for the solid discussion that we had yesterday in our special session, just regarding the process for city manager recruitment. And I think we have a great opportunity to continue the momentum that Lon has provided us over these many years and bringing us to current state. But we need to be, continuing to reach higher as we pursue this recruitment. But it is from a foundation of, great progress over these years that we've been advantaged by Lon's leadership. So I just think we have the necessity to engage this as vigorously as we can and to apply our own effort to facilitate the process, however that might be best to get us through a detailed yet swift recruitment cycle so that we can not have any kind of shortfalls in terms of management and leadership for the city. To that end, I guess I would just like everybody's consideration that if maybe we need to form a work group, a subset of the council to help Kirsten get through certain cycles of her activity, I would certainly support that personally if that's in the best interest of the total recruitment.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, that's a great segue. Thank you for that, Grant. I missed the special meeting yesterday, but did call Grant this morning just to catch up on what I missed in advance of this evening's meeting. And I echo that. I don't even think we should request it. I think we should form a small committee of 3. The city manager is our only employee as a council, and we should have a very vigorous role in making sure that we not only select that person, but that we select the search firm. And we participate in all of it, because that's that's what we're tasked with as we sit up here and manage. I've not hired a city manager before, but I've hired a superintendent in New Jersey, and I've hired one here in Marion, and we always use the executive search firms. But in both of those cases, we formed subcommittees so that things could move along, to the point of, I think we have 60 days before the seat will be empty. So it will just allow, a small working group would allow us to be more nimble in the process and not have to call so many special meetings, but we could have representation like we've done for a variety of other things. I would also say that, I'm not coming back after this term, but I'm happy to sit on that committee if Colette cannot. I do believe we need a female on it in case we hire a female. We should be diverse in who makes up that committee as well. And I know everybody's time is precious, but I think it's imperative that we put together that committee as soon as possible and start looking at search firms and coordinating with Kirsten rather than just passively getting information and then meeting about it. And I'm not suggesting that was what anybody was planning to do, but since I wasn't here yesterday, I just wanted to make sure I got that out there. So thank you.
Will? Thank you.
I just have one thing. I just want to say what a pleasure it is to see everybody's smiles again. It's incredible to think a year of these things here and what it's actually done. To see smiles is, I think we would all agree, has a very deep emotion on people. So it's nice to see everybody's smiles.
Did it? Colette?
Okay, just one addition to what was already said. Great comments by Grant and Renee. Absolutely agree. And I'm with Randy. It's great to see everybody's smiles, right? So I need to go buy some lipstick again, I guess, right? But on a serious note, just really, want to thank Lon for his work over the last several years. And especially when I was being onboarded to this position, I had no idea, and he was very patient in bringing me along. So officially, and congratulations, right? I think, can we say that? But appreciative of the work that you've done for our community.
Okay, so yesterday, the Linmar schools had the ribbon cuttings for the 2 new intermediate schools. They're spectacular. Congratulations to the Linmar community on those two new schools. We also had a ribbon cutting this morning for former State Bank investment services. That was a very nice event. And finally, wanted to just go back to the Eight's Enough LLLP project. I was really glad to hear our community development director, Tom, say that he was reaching out to the developer to talk to him about possibly doing what he can to improve the look of what he intends to build, because it's fronting on Highway 13. I think that type of attitude is I hope that attitude permeates the entire organization in terms of always taking the extra step, making the extra effort to get the best result, even though we don't have a way to force something, if there's no design standards in the area, whatever it is. And even though the project technically meets all the requirements, that we make that extra effort and that we do reach higher, so that we can, say we reached higher and feel confident in that we tried our best to get the best for our community. We want developers to make money and to be successful. We want them to also care about the community at the same time. And, so I want to say thank you for doing that, and would encourage that same attitude in everything that we do. With that, we'll close the meeting, and thank everyone for joining us.